If you've been trying to lose weight now for some time, but you feel like you're not making any progress, then this video is for you. You probably feel like you've tried everything to kickstart your weight loss, but nothing seems to work. Well, I'm here to help, because in this video, I'm gonna tell you my 5 red flags when it comes to weight loss. Now, I've spoken to many people over the years who are trying to lose weight, and these are just some of the things that I raise my own suspicions on when they tell me the things they're doing in order to lose weight themselves. Now, these are also things that I help my clients to avoid in order to help them get some life-changing results. Like James, who has lost over 30 kilograms now, and Russ, who has lost over 18. Before we get into the video, I do have a free fat loss guide to help you out even further. And if you want access to this, just click the link in my description. Let's get into it. Okay, so here are my 4 red flags as to why you are not losing weight, okay? Now, the first thing is gonna be your weekend cheat meals, right? Now, this is gonna be a really big red flag, and let me tell you why. Because although I do recommend having flexibility with your diet, with your nutrition, with the foods that you eat and you enjoy, cheat meals or cheat days, they can ruin a whole week's progress. So when I'm talking to someone and they're like, oh yeah, I was eating good through the week, but then, you know, I always have my cheat meal at the weekend to tide over my cravings or satisfy my cravings. You know, this alone can actually ruin a whole week's progress in one, believe it or not. So when you break it down, if you've been eating in a 500 calorie deficit all week and you have a break and you cheat over the weekend, or you have your cheat meal over the weekend, you'd only need to consume 2,500 calories more than your daily targets to wipe out a full week's progress. So Monday to Friday, if you're in a 500 calorie deficit, then over that 5 days is 2,500 calories. Now, if you eat over this over the course of the weekend on top of your normal food, then you are literally wiping out your full week's progress. And it's super, super easy to do. As an example, a large pizza from Domino's is 2,500 calories. So if you had your maintenance calories Saturday and Sunday, because you're on your cheat day, you had a big Domino's pizza at the end of it, then you could possibly have wiped out all of your hard work over the week just with that cheat meal. And this is the reason why people don't lose weight, is because they don't realize this and they think that just having one day isn't going to make much of a difference, when in reality it might not, but it also could wipe out a full week's progress, okay? So this is something you've really got to be aware of here. Now, the next thing is going to be fad diets. I'm going to talk about fad diets here as well. So when I hear people say, you know, I'm going to try keto, nothing's been working, so I might try that keto in order to lose weight. My friend was on keto and she lost 18 pounds already, you know? This is another big red flag, okay? Let me explain why. Because all diets have the same thing. They all aim to do the same thing. And all diets will aim to achieve a calorie deficit. Okay. Now, without knowing this information, you're just guessing blindly. Okay. Now, the problem with fad diets is that fad diets like keto, your carnivores, your juice cleanses, they're all unsustainable methods. You can make progress on them, but the chances of you sustaining your results are pretty slim. And this is because you don't know the science behind what you are doing. Okay. Now, another reason is why you need to have some flexibility and some freedom, okay? And when you're on a fad diet, the likelihood is that it's going to be super, super strict. Like keto, you cut out all your carbs, or carnivore, you're only eating meat. And a general rule is the more restrictive your diet is, the less likely you're going to be able to stick with it, okay? These fad diets are super, super restrictive. And the reason why they are is because more people can follow them aimlessly and get results. Okay, so we all know that in order to lose weight, you need a calorie deficit. Okay, so when these fad diets are made, they are made to be super restrictive, but they are also made to follow the science. So they are made to be a means in order to create a calorie deficit. So let's take keto, for example. And on the keto diet is, yeah, they have all of this ketones and burning body fat and things like that, but none of this works unless you're in a calorie deficit. And the main thing with keto is to cut out all of your carbohydrates. Now, when most people cut out all of their carbohydrates, they will lose weight, but not because of the ketones doing this and that, because they are usually going to cut out a lot of the shit, a lot of the pizzas, a lot of the sweet treats, a lot of the chocolates in the diet, and that's going to put them in a calorie deficit then. So they're going to start to lose weight. And this is why people will lose weight and will get results on the diets, but it's unlikely they're going to sustain them because the means that they are creating that calorie deficit is super unsustainable, like cutting out all of your carbs, okay? Now, the third thing is people who say, I don't like to weigh myself. You know, I just eat well, you know, don't weigh myself and I just see the results over time. No, it doesn't exactly work for everyone, okay? The data, like weighing in and weighing your body weight every single day is super, super important, especially for people who might be a little bit new to dieting, you know, who are not experts, or they've been into fitness and they've been into dieting for years and years and years. You know, if you're quite new to dieting, if you're quite new to the whole weight loss process and trying to lose weight, then the data is going to be so important when it comes to tracking your progress, okay? Now, the only reason why this might not be a good idea is if you genuinely have anxieties around the scale weight and that is something that you have a problem with, then obviously I don't recommend weighing in every day. But for everyone else, 100% I do recommend it. Now, when you don't weigh in, firstly, you have no idea if the calories that you are consuming are putting you in a calorie deficit. So you could be eating your 2,000 calories all the time, but if you don't know how your body weight is responding to these 2,000 calories day to day, week to week, month to month, then you don't know if you're losing body fat or not. You don't know if you are losing weight or not, okay? You have no idea when or where to make adjustments to your food or your exercise so you can continue to progress. Okay, I have many clients, and at first, on the first calorie targets that they're on, they might lose weight, they might get 5 kilos down, but then all of a sudden it starts to stall over time, and then we have to ask why. And the reason why, often what will happen is we'll come back to the data. You know, we'll check, okay, how's your body weight responding on these calories? Have you been consistent? And then we can base and make changes based off the data. So you might be eating your calories and losing weight for a short while, but then over time, them calories now become your maintenance because you've lost weight. Then you're not losing weight anymore, but you have no idea that you're not losing weight anymore because you think that you're eating clean, you think that you're tracking your calories, you think that you're eating your calorie targets, when in reality that weight loss might have stalled because them calories aren't right for you anymore. So super important to track the data, super important to weigh in every day, and the data is always going to be king, and it's always going to be something that you can base and make decisions off in your fat loss journeys. Okay, and the obvious one, you don't even know if you're losing weight. You know, you have no idea they're putting you in a deficit, and you don't know if you're losing weight. You don't know. Sometimes it takes a while to actually see the results in the mirror day to day. It's really hard to spot the changes day to day. So if you're on a diet, but you're not weighing yourself every single day, then how do you really know that you are on a diet? And how do you really know that you are losing weight? Yeah? All right. Number 4 is I just eat clean. So there's a few people who do this and it says, oh yeah, I'm just cutting out all the rubbish and I'm just going to eat clean over time. And this is a good habit to be in. Of course it is. It's a great habit to be in. But just because you eat clean doesn't mean that you're going to automatically start losing weight, okay? Now, the reason for this is because weight loss equals your calories in and your calories out, right? So to lose weight, you need to be consuming less calories than you expend over time, right? Calories in, calories out, weight loss. I talk about it every single video. This is obviously something that is key, okay? Now, it's not about the types of food that you eat. It's about the overall calorie consumption. That's what's going to determine weight loss. So you could eat, and you could quite easily overconsume on clean foods. If you look at things like salmon, you look at things like nut butters, peanuts, things like that, some fruits like bananas and things like that. You can easily consume a lot of calories through sources of food what we would consider clean, right? But when in reality, you could be going over your calorie targets, or you could be going over your maintenance targets, which can stall your weight loss and stop you from losing weight, really. So just because you eat clean doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to lose weight. What we want to do instead is you want to eat clean, of course, but we also want to be tracking the calories that we're eating, so we know exactly the amount and we know your overall consumption of calories. That is what's going to help you control the amount that's going in exactly, and it's going to help you on your way to losing weight. There you have it. They are the 4 red flags that I experience when talking to people who are trying to lose weight. Now, if you're making any of these mistakes, should I say, yourself, then don't worry. They're not necessarily wrong. I just want you to be aware of them, and it's something that maybe you can improve on in the future, okay? If you've liked this video, I'll leave some more content here for you right now. Make sure you drop me a subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.